gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
we left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so.
Cool. Yo, UFC 285 review show. We had to get this in. Gents, can you hear me? We are all in different locations. Someone's in the car. Someone's on their way out. I've just got back in, but we had to squeeze this in. It's your guy, Obasogi.
Had to be done. It's your guy, Marty.
APL. Let's go. Because
we've got straight away, starting from the top, main event. I got no words. I'm going straight over to you guys. Got no words.
Let's go to the fanboy. Let's go to the fanboy because he's got a lot to say.
God gave me style. God gave me grace.
God gave me style. God gave me grace.
Oh, he's no. So I watched it on mute purposely because I thought it was gonna be like a 3-4 round affair type of thing. So I don't know what entrances they came into. So what did Jones come into, and what did the thing come into?
That 50 Cent hit that Marty was just singing. God gave me style, God gave me grace, God gave me style. It ain't my fault.
Yeah. I think he posted on Instagram.
He started doing the wind walk. It changed to the champ is here. The champ is here.
Right.
So he did a medley. It was a little medley.
All right. So what were you saying, man? What were you saying?
Go on, fanboy.
Yeah, I'm saying it's just GOAT season. It's strap season. He's back. Daddy's home, and everybody needs to get in line. Pound for pound, everybody needs to get in line. Stipe next. After Stipe.
I'm so glad he's cutting out.
I'm so glad.
Francis to get Francis, and I think.
Yeah, it's not. The
Oh no, I'm cutting out.
Quality's not.
We're so glad. God is good.
God give his style.
Move on. APL. Sorry, move on.
You're cutting out. You're all over the shop, Mardy.
Right,
APL.
okay.
So you were planning for 3 to 4 rounds.
So I was planning for 3 to 4 rounds, and that's why I kept it on mute, because I was like, look, they're probably going to feel each other out for the first few. And then someone's going to have some form of advantage. Either it's on the feet or either it's on the ground. And initially, first of all, when he came into the cage and he had to take his tape off, I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. Why would you tape your foot up like that? Do you know what I mean? Like he taped around his actual foot. Like he can actually have a blade in there, legit. So that disturbed him a bit. It gave him a bit of disturbance. And then he did that flip thing that he normally does, but he looks clunky. He looks heavy. He looks too heavy. I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this.
But I think he did that to prove the point, though. He did that to say, I can still move. Like, that's the only way. He had no reason to do that. He did that to go, I might be older, I might be heavyweight, but I still got the moves. I still got the moves like Jagger. That was all part of his little plan.
Fair enough. When the camera panned to him and then it panned to Ciryl, Ciryl just looks like a proper built, shredded heavyweight. You know what I mean? I was like, this is a bit. And that's when Marty put on the chat, we should put 20 pounds on Ciryl. He started panicking. But then, and then when he actually got down to the action, obviously first right away, a nut shot. I was like, what the hell is that? And obviously he mentioned he played on it. And then the finish, initially it looks like it was too quick of a tap out. Like I was like, has he just given up there? Or either I thought something's broken or something's wrong. And then the replay, you look at it, it's like, it was actually pretty tight in there. Like it wasn't like he could even slide his head out. He literally could not slide his head out of anything. And then the key takeaway for me is it's the difference between years of training and somebody that's just a physical specimen. Because that transition from how he took his back, you can't teach that and you can't prepare for that type of stuff. So that's just my initial thoughts on how it was. He was just a master and somebody that's just early in his MMA career, you know.
Yeah, I was extremely disappointed. Obviously, we all know who my pick was, and when it went down, I was like, huh? I was like, what? I was like, huh? I was like, troops on AFTV. Obama what? Obama who? I was so like confused. I didn't get it. I was like, and back to your point, yeah, I thought like maybe when he'd gone down, something had broke, like an arm or a leg or something. I just thought he broke something.
A knee, something. Yeah.
I thought something had gone. I was like, what are you tapping? I was in shock, like, and you'll see it on the reaction video. I was like, what? I was literally like, I didn't get it. It was so quick. It literally cut through him like a hot knife through butter. It was actually quite embarrassing, to put it bluntly, considering, you know, the height that the event had and everything else. Considering everything, you know, we're waiting. Is Jon Jones got ring rust? Can his legs take the kicks? You know, all the questions that we asked in the preview. Let's be honest, like, they weren't answered because Jon Jones didn't allow them to be answered. He just shut that down. So, yeah, I don't know if Fanboy's got the quality to chime in and because we missed everything you were saying the first time round. Thank God for that, but we'll give him another chance.
I hope it's working. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, it is.
So I was saying, basically, everyone needs to get in line, pound for pound. Daddy's home. Like, there's no touching him. He just showed that there's levels in this game, and he's at the top of the level. He's a complete MMA. He's a complete mixed martial artist. Like, it's in his blood. It's in his DNA. As you said, he's been training for how many years for this? And the 3 years, you can tell. When Jon Jones is focused, there's not a man alive that can beat him. Like, it's silly. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised it finished so quickly. When it went to the ground,
There you were, that quick though, that quick. Come on,
It's
as much as you're fam,
heavyweight history.
come on, you can't deny it.
I
That quick.
was surprised it finished because once we said it on the preview. We said Gane's only way to win this is if
distance
away from Jones, stays on the feet. I said once Jones puts his hands on him, it says it's night. And Jones just put his hand on him, and that's the levels. And you said exactly what Jon Jones predicted, like he was going to cut through him like a hot knife through butter. That's exactly what he did. And do you know what? This might be a bit controversial, but I'm calling into play, actually, Fernand Lopez as a coach. How actually technically adept is he to train somebody from mixed martial arts?
No, he's not.
No. Yeah, he's not, because Francis Ngannou had to leave the what's it called, MMA fight,
MMA factory.
go and look for a well-rounded camp. And the changes that fight against Stipe, the first one, he got dominated. There was no ground game whatsoever, and obviously we saw his growth in the second Stipe fight. Ciryl Gane, the same, no ground game, and he's obviously not learned his lessons from the Francis Ngannou fight. But again, that might be harsh because it's going to take. I don't think he can take anyone just a year to prepare for Jon Jones in his ground game. So, but I think really and truly, I'm questioning the levels of Fernand Lopez as a coach in MMA to prepare somebody for an all-well-rounded fight. Really and truly.
I never like to agree with you, Mardy. I like to be on the other side of the fence, but I'm 100% aligned. You just hit it spot on. At the end of the day, I don't think that's even an argument. Just to give the that's a GOAT sound. Just to give the just to quickly wrap it up very quickly, because this is a really quick one. So we got Jon Jones, youngest UFC champion, light heavyweight champion, most UFC title fight wins at 15, and now heavyweight champion. I said if he makes it very quick and cuts through him that quickly, then I said I will change my stance. I was already calling him the GOAT last week. He's just obviously confirmed that even more. Stipe, I don't really see there being. I get the whole Stipe lining him up because Stipe is still framed as the best heavyweight ever. So Jon Jones wants to take that title away as well and finish him.
By the way, why are we pretending Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time? Like,
I didn't say that. I said he's framed as. It's because he's got the most title. It's because he's got the most title defenses.
In the UFC, he is.
That's not true.
In the UFC, he is. Of course, it's true.
Stipe is not better than prime Cain Velasquez. He's not.
What? Yeah, His stats prove he is. His stats prove he is.
My
And
God.
for me, he would beat Cain Velasquez. Prime Stipe would beat Prime Cain Velasquez.
Oh, y'all must have forgot. Anyways, first of all, we're pretending that Stipe hasn't been slept like 15 million times. Why? Why does that not count when you're talking about GOAT heavyweights of all time?
Anderson Silva is regarded as the GOAT of MMA. Is he not being slept
No, he's
15
not.
million times?
We're just talking about the GOAT just now. The GOAT of MMA, we're just talking about him just now.
Right, okay, but he can be regarded. Some people still hold him as the GOAT of mixed martial arts.
For me, I get, yeah, true. Some people can argue, they can argue GSP and all that stuff. Yes, fine. But for me, the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time is not Stipe.
UFC, in the UFC.
It's not.
Gents, this has got to be a different episode. Different episode. Another episode.
Okay.
We go into this because this is very quick. So we're moving on. Jon Jones, Stipe being lined up for International Fight Week in July.
Just one more. Go.
Okay,
so for me, Gane was what I thought he was. He's just a physical specimen who just happened to pick up MMA really quickly, but he's met his match. One, because he brought up a good point, Marty, in terms of his coach. His coach is quite limited. But B, he's not interested in being that guy. You know what I mean? So for me, that win isn't as impressive as if Jones was to do it to Francis, for example, or if he was to do it to I don't know, because he'll beat Stipe. Stipe is just old and his brain's fried. But if he was to do it to someone else that's keen on greatness, and Gane isn't keen on that. He's just here for a good time. And so for me, that win is like, okay, good. You were where you were when you left off. Let's see what you can do with everyone else. But that's it for me. Like that, I guess what I'm saying, Soggy, is that win shouldn't define whether he's GOAT or not, because Gane is just, at the end of the day, when it's all said.
I said this last week. I said he's fighting a guy who's not even top 10, not even like pound for pound. Hold on a minute, what's going on here? What's happening?
Yeah, but no. But APL, correct me if I'm wrong. What you're saying is, anyway, Jon Jones should have been GOAT before this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Whereas you, Soggy, you weren't saying that. You were saying that he needs to defend. For me, what I don't agree on.
No, it was pound for pound. That's where I said. That's where the defense to be number one.
Pound for pound, yeah, true.
That was my point last week. Not GOAT.
What I don't agree on with you, APL, is no, that was impressive. Of course, it was impressive. Did you see Francis Ngannou struggled with Gane? I know he didn't have any knees, but he struggled with Gane. Like, let's not pretend. He went to a decision with Gane. He could not finish Gane.
But you just said he didn't have any knees. Come on.
You just said.
Yeah, but we only can go what we saw. We only can go on the facts. The facts there that he went to a 5-round decision with Gane. When we talk about Francis Ngannou being the heavyweight king, Jon Jones beat him in 3 minutes.
I don't think anyone's saying that Francis is more rounded than Jon Jones. No, not a single one of us is saying.
I'm not saying that. APL was saying that win was not impressive. Of course, impressive.
No. What I'm saying is, if it was to be Francis, because we all know Francis needs like a split second to knock you out. But whereas Ciryl, like we all said, the only way he wins is if he keeps it on the feet at some sort of distance. And even then, like I was saying in the preview, like that's minuscule because Jones will be able to download all the different data and then still beat him anyways in that arena. So then the fact that he took him down and literally tapped him out in, what was it? How many seconds? I can't remember how I was saying. The fact he did that, I was like, well, yeah, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's impressive. But it's impressive.
Okay, it's impressive. Okay, yeah, so we can move on. It's impressive. Well done, Jones.
Right, very quickly now. Shock of the night. And Mr. I think you said we don't care last week, APL. But you said if she pulls it off, you said it's going down. Oh, no, actually, no, you said the Gane one would go down as one of the biggest upsets ever. But looking at the odds and the way the odds were stacked, this isn't too far off against Shevchenko.
Yeah.
And you talk about taking the back. Wow, that was absolutely techers unbelievable tackles. She trained for the spinning punches and the spinning kicks and what she would do, and she did what she trained to do, and she confirmed that I know she likes spinning attacks, like what she did where she spun and then within a second she's got two hooks in, leg and arm on Shevchenko's left side. I was like, oh my goodness. And then
Impressive.
very, very quickly, did you see the arm when the choke came off?
Yeah,
and
the picture.
The suntan. The suntan. Where there was all sunburned and there was like...
The neck, it was just white.
Didn't touch, none of it was on the neck, Mardy. It was all chin, pressure, face.
Yeah, I saw it.
It was mad.
And Grasso on her feet looked impressive. Her boxing looked fantastic.
Okay, so on that, right? On that, I don't know. Maybe we can go into detail later. But on that, I thought on the feet, because later when I unmuted the thing, they were like commenting like Grasso was like dominating on the feet. But when I was watching it, I was like, well, Shevchenko's she's not moving, she's not falling for the feints. She was literally in the pocket and they were exchanging in those moments. I was like, well, it seems kind of 50-50. Like the first one, you could argue Grasso won that, arguable. The second one, obviously, the takedown. The third one was very similar. But then I was like, I genuinely couldn't believe it. I could not believe that it happened that quickly. Because I don't think prior to that, I thought it was a bit 50. Actually, even before the fight, I didn't know Valentina was 36. You know,
She's 36.
Yeah,
she's veteran now. Been about.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. She was like, oh, we need to verify that. But I swear, I saw that she was 30. I was like, oh, I don't like that. Yeah, I said I don't like that. 34, sorry, 34. When I saw that, I was like, she's pushing on a bit. And then yeah, I mean, fair play to the girl. She's representing Mexico. Fair play. Nothing you can say to that.
Impressive. That's three champions now for Mexico, all in the space of this year, with Brandon, Yair, and now Grasso. Yeah. UFC's got to go Mexico ASAP and just capitalize on that. That is crazy. Yeah. That is crazy. We're only 3 months in and they've got 3 champions.
Yeah. They'll sell out arenas for that.
Cinco de Mayo. Get something in place for that.
They could go stadium. They could do it anywhere in Mexico. They could go serious scale now.
It's true. Yeah. But
believable.
But Grasso, the only comment. Well, Grasso, she did phenomenal in that fight. She stayed there. She never looked like. Well, she did look in trouble. And one thing, Shevchenko got her to the ground in this. I think it was in the 3rd round. And I'm sorry, what the heck was that referee doing?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan was livid, and Joe Rogan was commentating on this with talking to Jamal Hill in the JRE podcast with him, that he doesn't like it when referees step in. He says if somebody wrestles you to the ground, yeah, it's on you to get back up to it. And she was working as well. That was mad. That means that she let them back up. But anyway,
it seemed to be a theme all night because I watched the prelims and the main, and the referees were giving it 30 seconds and then they were getting involved. It was too much. I don't know if
yeah.
I don't know if the rules have suddenly changed, but it was a massive frustration on the night with the referees. Literally, whilst they were on the ground and things were happening, or grappling on the fence, referees were jumping in and separating them. There was one point where I think Valentina was about to strike, and she still struck Grasso.
And she has apologized.
Yeah, she's apologized. But that was again back to your point. She was working in the clinch on the floor, and the referee separated as she was striking mid-strike.
Mad.
Yeah. When did the rules suddenly change? Absolutely nuts.
That was insane.
Absolutely nuts. But apparently, it will be an immediate rematch. They both agreed to it, so run it back. We'll see it again. Because
do you think it's a similar case to Mandarin thing?
Do you know what? Considering Valentina's last performance before this versus Santos, and now you might have raised a good point in terms of father time. Maybe it's just that. Maybe she's just lost a bit of her speed, and the other fighters have evolved enough where they've closed that gap. It's clear. Her last 2 fights have been battles now, and she was such a dominant champion where she was leaving unmarked, unscathed, making it look easy, look like she was having fun. Now it's looking like a problem, and it's a good point you've raised in that it might be the age. That could all be it. I don't think anything else has changed. She still seems to be as disciplined and as focused as ever, but It looks like everyone has caught up because their last 2 fights. I don't know if it was like lack of focus, as I said, could have been an issue because, you know, she's been dominant for so long. Like, is it only champ? Is it only Nunes that motivates her potentially? We just don't know. But yeah, even when she was winning and dominating, I don't think it was her domination style of past because it was still quite close. And considering the way she was speaking going into this fight, I will beat you anywhere you want it to go. You know, with talking about ego, she didn't, because when you rewatch it, you'll realize the boxing is what made Shevchenko resort to wrestling. It's because Grasso was piecing her up on feet.
From the second round, she took her down quite early, and then from the third, she resorted to takedown. So for me, I kind of agree with that. I think when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is not Shevchenko of old. Like, her punches aren't having the same impact. When she's landing the jabs, it's not rocking the heads back like it used to. Her spinning attacks aren't. You can see them from a mile away. So there's a lot of things that happen.
Even some of her takedowns look desperate. And Grasso started to sprawl them. And if you watch Shevchenko's knees, that was the carpet burn from you know, not landing. You could see her knees go really red. And then even they mentioned it in commentary, like, oh, that's gonna hurt when she has a shower later. Like, some of her takedowns, she was literally doing that. She was literally just going for it as opposed to setting it up, like you said, with the jab, with the kicks. She was just going in, desperation. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
I feel like it's the end of an era. I feel like, unfortunately, where you said we want to see, you know, as a champion and a dominant champion, you don't really want to see them to start losing. I think Grasso does in the rematch, to be honest, and makes it even more impressive now because now she's got the time to up her takedown defense, because her takedown defense wasn't very good. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that third when she took it down in the third, it was embarrassing. So we went straight, but yeah. What do you think, man? What are you saying in terms of future for the champ and the?
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one. I think I do agree in terms of it depends on the motivation. It might be due to just the age and it's gone past her now. But it just might be an Amanda. She maybe needs some time out to regroup, go back to basics. She was out in Japan, I think, for this camp sort of thing. Go back to basics where she normally trains and see what's what. But really and truly, the levels of competition are coming up. We know that. We were talking about Erin Blanchfield on the preview to this. If Grasso did that to Shevchenko, Erin would literally take her down and she'd have no problem submitting them. But I think it's now opening up the flyweight division. So not giving any predictions yet, but it's going to be interesting for sure.
Oh, that's great. I think it opens it up nicely because I actually feel Erin would take out Grasso. Based on what Valentina did to Grasso with the takedowns and on the floor, I think Erin would make it actually have an easier time. And Erin, I think Erin has better hands than Valentina now, honestly.
Yeah, I think she's got more power, maybe not as quick as speed, but yeah, I agree with you.
So, in terms of being open, maybe it's about time. Like I said, I feel like it's the end of an era now. I feel like now it's going to be the belt's going to get passed around a little bit. They've only think about it. There's only been 3 flyweight champions. Grosso's the third. Think about it.
That's domination, you know.
Think about it.
Yeah, that's domination. I
think it's going to be the belt's going to be going ring a roses, a pocket full of Right, very, very quickly, let's wrap that up. We're going to go to we'll cover look, is he Laura Sanko's man or is he Marty's man? We're just not sure with Shavkat because they both seem to love him as much. Starting with you, APL, did you see your man like Shavkat in Fight of the Night against Jeff Neal? Because that was a fight. It was an incredible fight.
So I caught the last round before the submission. I didn't catch the whole thing. But from what it looks like he just bullied him from that finish. Like, honestly, just like he little brothered him. But before then, I don't know what the exchanges were like. I didn't see, so I can't comment too much on it.
It was go on, Marty.
Oh, well, yeah. I was just gonna say that last round probably didn't reflect what happened from the whole of the other rounds. It was a close fight.
Okay.
They were rocking each other. Shavkat was rocking Jeff Neal. When Jeff Neal was hurt, he was throwing bombs back and rocking Shavkat. Like, for me, it was like a turning point. Chimaev had a turning point really in the fight with Burns. As in, has he got that dog in him? Shavkat has that dog in him. He can bang.
Got
He
a
can
great chin.
submit.
Great chin. The punishment he was taking from Jeff Neal, I was like, wow. Like even from the first one, I went, oh, if Jeff Neal's landing on anyone else, they're getting knocked out. They're sleeping.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Shavkat, I mean, Jeff Neal, he was great in his takedown defenses as well. My word, Shavkat tried to take him down a lot and didn't really manage too many from what I recall. I mean, I was dead tired, but from what I recall, didn't really manage. But and I think, but Shavkat did get the upper hand, and towards the latter end in the last round, as you see, it was coming. And again, perfect record still. It's not perfect before, as Laura Sanko was saying, when he had 16 finishes, 8 submissions, 8 knockouts. Now it's 17-0, 8 knockouts, 7 submissions. He's actually, that's not maths. That's not good maths at all.
No, 9. No,
that's not good maths.
9 submissions, so it's not even.
9 submissions. Yeah. I took him off. I did you dirty, bad lad. But what do you think, Soggy?
No, I love that fight. I actually loved it from start to finish. Didn't think it was going to be that much of a dog fight. He showed he's got dog in him. It was just a fantastic fight. I watched the press conference at the end. Obviously, Laura Sanko's interviewing your bae. Sorry, so don't when you catch up on that later, don't get too jealous. And even Dana White bigged up the fight to the extent where even though Jeff Neal missed weight, I think he was over by 4 pounds. He still gave him. He said, "I don't care." After that fight, even though he missed weight, he's getting a bonus. He still got his 50k fight of the night bonus. That's how impressive he was. It was a fantastic fight. Jeff Neal can definitely come again. He's still got a lot in the tank, as proven. I think there's some issues there, hence why he didn't quite make the weight. That fight was also pushed back because they were initially meant to fight, and then it got pushed back to this occasion. So there's some stuff going on with Jeff Neal for sure. I think Dana probably has full visibility of that, hence why he's still blessed him with the bonus. Shavkat, loved him on the mic as well. Obviously doesn't speak English, but made a call out, said, even Joe Rogan teed it up, just saying, look, your next fight could be for the belt. Shavkat went, well, if it's not for the belt, I'll take Kobe Covington. Nobody calls out Kobe, So I was like,
is that what he said?
Yeah. So he's announced himself now. Now the Americans know who he is. I can only see the momentum and that trajectory going towards the belt. And I think Mardy's call was that he'd be the champion by the end of the year. I want to say, was that this year?
That's my call. And everybody needs to beware. Everybody needs to beware.
I kind of, from what I saw, I got to agree. I think he's coming for that belt.
Wait, disrespecting the current sitting champion. I thought he was your guy.
No, I said if you saw, I said luck is on his side at last. Of course, he's got the belt, But I'm not disrespecting Leon, but I just think Shavkat, you can't sleep on Shavkat. He's the real deal. He's not just a hype job. Yeah,
that division's with instruction of him, it's starting to brew a little bit more nicely. It's certainly one of the stacked divisions in
Shavkat to me is basically Hamzat without the mouthpiece. I think they're cut from the same cloth. It's just Hamzat can shout and talk, where Shavkat doesn't speak a word of English and has to use a translator. But I literally see them both and think, damn, they're like literally the same.
Yeah, true. I think Shavkat's got better submissions, and I think Hamzat has got better striking. But yeah.
Shavkat's striking was fantastic.
It looks good from what I saw.
It looked great. It looked good. Those left hooks were landing like sweet. I thought he looked brilliant. I just thought he looked like a complete MMA fighter. Yes, he didn't get that takedown success, but I think the stats going into the fight was Jeff Neal's takedown defense is at like 86%. So it was never going to be easy taking him down. The guy's obviously a veteran in that area. But again, he didn't look too. Whereas Shevchenko needed the takedowns, Shavkat was like, okay, I can't take you down. I'll fight you in your realm, and I'll be comfortable doing it. So I think that's that that mentality monster where Shevchenko needed takedowns. It was the same thing. Shavkat essentially would have loved takedowns. Thought, okay, cool, let's bang. And it was just boxing fundamentals, just nice 1-2s. They were clean with it. The only thing is Jeff Neal had the speed to get him with the power shots and the counter and landing a good few times. But man, Shavkat's knees into the midsection. The knees. And then there was one point in the build up to the submission where I was like, he needs to start using his elbows more. It's like he heard me. Then the elbow started raining in, and that's when he just lit Jeff Neal up. Honestly, complete fight. Everything you think, why isn't he doing this? Suddenly he just does it. Like the guy's just like, again, we're talking about computers and downloading information. He's just picking. He's picking the right options at the right time. Love to see that. Yeah.
Cool. So what we're rating the card overall then to close it off?
I liked it.
I did like it. Some controversial moments. I think we probably need to do more in depth. But when you go back and watch Bo Nickal versus Jamie Pickett, I thought there was a low blow there that set it up. I can't believe. Yeah, if you go back and we watch it, when he goes into the takedown, Jamie Pickett's already like doing that to the referee. There was a low blow there, and they just seem to have not touched that. I believe Jamie Pickett's corner has actually filed an official complaint to make the fight a no contest. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So that was a controversial
like
one.
that. Don't do Bo like that.
It's a controversial one. I saw it in the moment and I was like, no! So hopefully that's made the reaction tape. I was tired as well. You might have seen me catching flies a few times, but just throw that in. Just throw that in. Gamwa, my guy, my pick did business. That was also a very good fight. I just think Jaden, just too soon for Jaden. I think Jaden's got it. You can see he's got it, just a little bit too soon. Just a little bit of a jump too soon. Hence why he didn't quite get the business done. What else was on that main card?
Are we saying Brunson should just give it up now? Yeah.
Oh, I think Brunson actually news on that. You don't.
Say it again. Sorry.
About Brunson, Blonde Brunson.
I think it was a top fight. That's what I'm saying. I think it was a sick fight, but. Yeah, I think that was his. I think he even said it himself. That was his last run to the title. But yeah, he needs to give it up now. But wow. But I'm telling you, that Drickers is coming out. But he needs to be careful because he'll get done. He will get done. He gasses out too much, and he's just too open to getting hit.
But think about this. So Drickers, apparently he's not gassing out, and he's been saying this now for his last 3 fights, because in the second round, when you watch all his fights, his mouth's wide open. You're thinking, what's going on? It's always the second round. Even the end of the first round, he was doing it. He's got a nasal issue, which he needs to go and repair. So let's think about that. Let's say that's reducing his lung capacity by 50%. Let's exaggerate. Imagine how good he's going to be when he fixes his nose and actually has cardio in the beast that he is. So it's actually quite scary that he's fighting with effectively a disability, and because he's trying to make this run up the ranking so quickly, he keeps saying yes to fights as opposed to taking a break and getting it fixed.
Yeah, that's true. I did hear that.
So that's quite scary. Brunson actually did tweet, I'm sorry, breaking news because you brought it up. So I'm just going to read the exact tweets. Thanks for all who watched my career. Crazy fight tonight. My corner decided to stop it after the second round. Congrats to my opponent. But that opening statement, thanks for all who watched my career.
It's not a surprise, man. It's not a surprise. Yeah, it's not a surprise.
Also, I need to call out his corner. How many times do we see the towel being thrown in the UFC?
Yeah, 0.1% of the time.
The referee needed to stop that. 4 strike. He took 4 unnecessary strikes. He was flat on his back, getting hammer punched, and he was not responsive. The referee needed to stop that. I get there was only 5 seconds left on the clock, which is a bit contentious. But in boxing, you see it all the time. Actually, I want my fighter to live another day. You throw the towel in. He was unresponsive, taking bombs, and the referee Herb Dean was just there. I don't know what Herb Dean was doing there, because there was another fight I can't even remember where where the mouthpiece came out. Shavkat. Oh my gosh. And Herb Dean almost stood in it. And for about whole 3 minutes, Joe Rogan, DC, and Don Alex are screaming at him to pick up. And Herb Dean's just looking at them like,
Where's your mouthpiece? He's over there, lads.
And there's a reason why Herb Dean isn't doing the mains and the co-mains event. And he's going down the rankings if you think about it.
He's falling off, yeah.
His fall off is very visible. And I was like, wow, what the heck? But yeah, I feel, like I said, massive credit to Brunson's corner, because you just don't see it enough. And it was the right thing. Like he was literally laid flat. I get there was 12 seconds to go at that point, and then took another 4 hits. Then there was 4, and then I think with about a second to go, that's when they realised the towel had been thrown in. But the referee, come on, do your job, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, I rate the card highly. From what I saw, it was a really solid card. I'm not gonna lie, not because I picked Gane, but I wanted more from that main event. It was a letdown. The Grasso win, massive shock. Obviously, the Shavkat fight of the night. I think it's a solid kind of like 7.5 out of 10 for me, based on what I saw.
Yeah.
But that main event would have been the cream on the crop had that gone into like 3, 4, 5 rounds. But yeah, overall a strong, solid card, and I'm looking forward to London in a couple of weeks. But before that, Jan Dishvili next weekend.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, same. I'd give it a 7. I'd give it a 7. Probably a 7, really. I mean, if you add a 7.5, it's probably because of the upset, which obviously doesn't happen often, and the fact that Shavkat announced himself. But yeah, the main event just it took at least a point away, at least. I get the King was back. I get it. I get it, man. I get he was back. It was his big day, 3 years off, all that stuff. I get it. Trust me, I get it.
At the end of the day, Marty, let's be honest. Even you've got to be honest and say, as dominant and as scary as Jon Jones did that to Gane, the only problem that Jon Jones had in the night was the plaster on his foot.
Legit.
That was the only issue. Oh, and the nut shot. That was it. The only.
No, but even that, he said he was playing on it.
I think the plaster on his foot was more painful than the bloody nut shot, to be honest.
It was. He said he played on it just so it could be noticed, man. Honestly, I think the main event took a lot out of it for me. Like, usually, like in a big card, after the main event, I'm full of adrenaline. I can't, even if I've got no dog in the fight, I'm like, oh yeah, that was sick, this and that. After that, I was like, yeah, fair enough. And I went to bed. Like, it was just, you know what I mean? So, yeah, 7.5 for me. What are you saying, Marty?
I just think there's no pleasing people. Like, you wanted everybody wants to see blood. Everybody wants to see a Ciryl Gane title Vasa, that sort of war, blah, blah, blah. But let's be realistic, especially for you, APL, because you were like, you just didn't give basically Ciryl a chance. You were just like, yeah. So you should have expected that. So you signed up. You signed up for what you got, basically.
No, but I let you lot talk me into this invincibility of Gane and this genetic freak that he was. On the feet, it was Roy Jones, and on the ground, it was I don't know what. I let you lot talk me into it.
But yeah, that was so impressive. I'm sorry. That hyped me up going to bed. I just loved that. I was like, wow, Daddy's home. I give it an 8. I give it an 8 just because of the names of the cards and how the fights played out. It was a silly card. The Ian Gary win, the Dricus fight, the Shavkat fight, the upset with Grasso. Your guys, what are you talking? What are you talking? I want whatever you're smoking. Really, it was a really good card.
At the end of the day, for me, any main event on a card like that, you need to be saying, look, I agree with APL, like you need to be contribute. The main card is what makes the card. That's how they build the card. So if that doesn't live up to expectations, you're going to lose points. So for me, it's lost 2.5 points because of that main card, but everything else that I saw, yeah, 100%. Honourable mention to Mr. Mardy as well, because he got a bonus point because Garbrandt actually won.
I got that.
Oh, APL. Oh, APL got a bonus point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't bet on that.
What? Didn't I? Are you sure?
APL, we need to be careful of him because this guy changes his things every second, man. Sending text messages and stuff. No. Whatever's recorded and published, that's the wins. I'm sorry.
So why am I NA though? I'm NA.
No,
are you sure?
You didn't pick.
Like I was NA for like I think I was NA for like 1 or 2 of them.
You were NA for Bo Nickal. You were NA for.
Yeah.
And we both went Nickal. We all went Rachmanov. I got Gamrot solo. We all went. Oh gosh, we all went Shevchenko. And then you two went Jones. And on Duplessis, APL went Bunsen.
Imagine.
That's smug laugh. But hey, Soggy, you could have done so much better rather than wasting a pick on Gane. If you could have wanted to be different, you should have just gone Grasso.
No, he's learning.
Look, Marty, you've been in my kitchen. Let's just say, I like Lurpak. I need to cut out the butter. and the stick with the creatine or the protein, because going with Mr. Gane, I mean Butter, I mean whatever you want to call him, yeah, it was the wrong pick for sure. It is what it is, you know. I went, you know, sometimes you got to take little risks, you know.
Absolutely.
It didn't pay. It definitely didn't pay off. It was embarrassing.
So what? Did we all get the same number of picks right then, or? Well, I'll top it up anyway. I'll calculate it.
Yeah, just tally it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, potentially so. But that was meant to be our very quick stop. We always get sucked in a little bit.
Honestly, I had to jet off.
Someone's in trouble. But yo, that was our UFC 285 review show. We'll try and dissect that a little bit more and hopefully get some content out to you. And if not, then you know it is what it is.
UFC 286.
286 in London. Preview show will be coming out soon. That's in two weeks. Looking forward to that. But yeah, to be honest, a fantastic night, a great event. It did live up to the hype. A little bit disappointed by the main event, but hey, when you've got the, you know, he's here for a good time, not a long time. Because
apparently so, yeah, apparently so. Does he get paid for overtime work? Does he?
Very true, very true. But exciting. See you in a few weeks, everyone. Watch me on the reactions.
Yeah.
Catching flies probably. That has been your UFC 285 review show. This is your guy Obasogi.
It's your guy Marty.
APL.
Out. Going out.
Out.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about that.
We
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so